Good morning, everyone. Hope you can see and hear us okay. Pip and Michael here for the last draw along of this term, but also of this year, which is just crazy to think about. Somehow, because of the timings and the dates, we've done 5 this term already. And so the Dhole, what we're drawing today, rounds off our Wolves and Wild Dogs for this term. And we come back again in January, where we start a new theme. And I'll talk to you more about that in a bit. But good morning, hi Bean and Bud and Emily and Freya. Is it just Emily today? Yeah, thanks for joining us. Hi from Eden and Susan. Awesome. We are, like I say, drawing the Dhole. So it's spelled D-H-O-L-E, but pronounced Dhole, which is a type of dog, and we're going to be learning all about him as well. If you know anything about the Dhole, if you're already familiar with them, feel free to share your facts as well. But hopefully what we can do is sort of combine all the skills that we've developed over this term when focusing on Wolves and Wild Dogs to come to this culmination of the Dhole. Just Emily today, okay, and I know I'm rubbish at name pronunciation, so I do apologise. Ria and Warris is what I want to say, so hello, and anyone else that joins us either live or if you're watching this on catch up. So we are drawing the whole dog today. And you may notice that I am on paper today. This is not planned. I've lost the tablet. It is somewhere in the chaos that is our house right now. So for the first time ever in Draw Along, I'm working from a paper printout, which is not something I prefer to do, mostly because my eyes are old and I need all the help I can get. So working on the tablet allows me to zoom in and be able to see details a bit more clearly. Can't do that today, so let's see how that goes, shall we? I'm going to share a couple of facts just so that everyone's got time to sort of get ready and get organised. These are the colours that I've pulled out, if that helps anybody. So Dholes are dogs. They are also known as the Asiatic wild dog, the red dog, and the whistling dog. We'll find out why in a bit. It's about the size of a German Shepherd dog, but looks more like a long-legged fox. I'd agree with that. So we've got the white chest, we've got the little black tail as well, and obviously the colour of a fox. This highly elusive and skilled jumper is classified with wolves, coyotes, jackals, and foxes in the taxonomic family Canidae. I never know if I'm saying that right. Dholes are unusual dogs for a number of reasons. They don't fit neatly into any of the dog subfamilies, for example, wolf and fox. They only have 2 molars on each side of their lower jaw, so that's their back teeth. They only have 2 instead of 3 and have a relatively shorter jaw compared to their dog counterparts. Also, female Dholes have more teats than other canid species and can produce up to 12 pups per litter. So that would explain why they have more teats, so that they can feed more pups at the same time. They're incredibly athletic. They are fast runners, excellent swimmers, and impressive jumpers. These skills are critical when the pack is hunting. In some protected areas, they share habitat with tigers and leopards. So that's a quick introduction to the Dhole. Just going to have a quick sip of tea, and then we'll get drawing, shall we? So Michael's found a different reference image that he's working from today, but this is my one. And obviously I'm going to be working landscape on my page rather than portrait to fit everything in. So as usual, just sketching out the rough outline, very roughly to begin with, and then worrying about the details in a bit. So I'm going to make sure I've got space for the head. He does look very foxy, doesn't he? He's almost got like a mane as well. Slightly less pointy ears than a fox, more rounded like the African wild dog, which I saw a really good documentary last night on African wild dogs. They are really fascinating. If you joined us on those draw-alongs, they're pretty cool dogs. They're impressive, and they reckon, from what I've heard on this documentary, they are like the one type of wild dog that they don't believe you can domesticate. So wolves, to an extent, you can domesticate. Foxes, to an extent, you can domesticate, but African wild dogs you can't. I feel like I might not have got my proportions right to begin with. We'll see how we go. But he's always got quite short legs, it looks here, as I'm drawing him, compared to some of the other dogs we've drawn this term. Especially, what did we draw last week?
Maine wolf.
The Maine wolf, they're super long legs, isn't they? So this is a bit of a contrast to that. Make sure I've got room for that big bushy tail. Do you know what? I'm struggling already because this is not on a screen. I didn't think this would affect me as much as it is already, but we will see. We'll see. It's good to push ourselves and to try different methods as well. Hope you're having a good day, Bean and Bud. Yeah, not too bad. Beans, but I think I'm a Dhole then because I'm quite a fast runner and I love swimming. That's pretty cool. Right, I think I probably started too low down on my page, but do I start again or do I just go with it? I think I'm just going to go with it and hope for the best. So that's the rough outline. I can't see his back paws because of the foreground. That suits me fine because I don't like drawing feet. We've done this before, haven't we? We've chopped off elements that we didn't want to have to draw. And that just happens to be the case with this reference picture. So I'm going to just plot out where I think the main features are on this Dhole, including his eyes. Got quite wide set eyes. Very similar to the other Wilddogs that we've looked at though. Almost almond shaped and amber coloured. And then we've got that nose. Again, I'm still roughly sketching because I can add in the details as I add colour and tone as I go along. So not too long a muzzle on the Dhole. It's quite a short muzzle because remember he hasn't got as many teeth as other Wilddogs. A bit more bear-like, I suppose, in that sense. And then he's got this, what I call a mane. You can see it's a bit foxy and floofy. So I'll have to make sure that we recreate that when we add the texture as well. Make sure the fur looks longer. Those points on him. And then those quite rounded ears. A bit lion-like as well, isn't it, compared to wolves and foxes. I'll roll out some of those other guidelines so I don't confuse my brain as I'm going along. Hi Holly, thank you for joining us. And then I'll go into the legs and put some details here as well. Make sure that shape is accurate. Just did a couple of those toes. I do think I have drawn his legs too short. I think I'm going to have to, otherwise the proportions are going to look really wrong. I don't think I've got time to start again, so what I'm going to have to do is sort of chop the front feet off as well, because otherwise it just looks a little bit too short. Unfortunately, I've got to sacrifice his paws. I'm not too sad about that because we know I don't like drawing paws, so happy accident. Not ideal. There's that. So that comes from the fact that I didn't start my image in the right point on my page and I just ran out of space. So it happens. How you doing, Michael? I can hear you huffing and puffing. It doesn't sound good.
The head is just terrible.
You've started quite small on your page. I think that might be why you're struggling a little bit. You've not given yourself a lot of space to work within. Do you think that could be it?
I just can't do the head.
Holly says this is tricky. It's not just us then. I do think we've said this before that sometimes just drawing just the face there's less things to worry about in terms of getting the proportions right and stuff. If you're drawing the whole body, there's a lot more that can feel like it's going wrong.
Okay, I'm going to restart.
Yeah, I'd say start bigger on your page, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a sort of a start. I'm just going to go in and now add in some more finer details before I start with the colour. Mine looks horrible from Emily. I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't. It's still early days. We can fix this. I'm not pleased with his face at the moment. I don't think mine looks quite accurate for his face, but we're going to keep going and hope for the best. We're not going to let it beat us. We cannot end Draw Along 2024 on a low. It's got to be on a high. So don't give up, guys. I'm going to plot in the sort of the white bits that I can see to give myself that guideline when I start with the colours. That's looking a little bit better. Right, I reckon I'm ready to start adding colour. So again, I'm going to do what I've been doing lately in my draw alongs, is put the base colour down, add the water, and then go back in for the finer details to make more sort of texture by using the pencils to create more fur lines. That is the plan. Let's see if it comes to fruition. I think I need some caffeine to help me. Okay. Do I want that colour? No, I want this colour. I've gone for like a terracotta, light terracotta we're going with to start getting some colour down. And I can add in more red tones, more brown tones. But this is, I think, the base colour for me is this one. It's like a sandy colour. And I'm using the side of the pencil. So one, it applies the colour quicker because you're not just using the tip. It's wider surface area. But also so that you're not applying it too harshly. I want it a soft tone that I'm creating to begin with. And then I can build on top of that as I go along. And I'm always moving in the direction of the fur. And he says, don't give up. Absolutely right. We have been surprised more than once, haven't we, when we've started off a draw along and thought, oh dear, this is not going to plan. And then actually we stick with it and it turns out all right in the end. Feeling better about that one, Michael?
Yeah, I guess.
So there is my basic sandy colour, and then I've got like a reddish tone. What's this called? Cinnamon. That's a nice colour for a pencil, isn't it? So now I'm going to use the cinnamon to go in on those sort of more reddish tones that I can see. So I'm not just going over everywhere. I'm looking at the reference picture where I can see different darker tones. So I can see them here, I can see them around the face, here and here, on the tops of the ears. You see what I mean? So it's just, you're not just shading over everything, you're picking out where you can see those more red tones. And that as well helps you to sort of show depth in your picture and to give it form and more 3D-ness, if that's a word. It's not, but I'm going to use it. My feet are bad. Is that holly? Is that right? I was going to say, do what I did, chop them off. Use your artistic license to say, I don't want that bit in my picture. I've given up on a few that we've done. No, not this one yet from Farron. Good. Good, good, good. What was the one I did? I feel like it was this term and it was just, it was a night. Oh, the wolf. I think it was the wolf. Oh my goodness, I was getting so stressed out with that. And actually I persisted with it because I don't have the option of giving up when you guys are watching me. Or maybe I do. And it turned out all right in the end. There was definitely imperfections, as I can see how it could be better, but it wasn't as awful as in my mind I felt like it was. And then I'm going to take the brown tone again for just some of those darker seal areas. Oh, I haven't done the ears. Completely missed that. What's going on with me? And the black for the towel, tip of the towel anyway. This is just the main colour getting down. I will go back and put in the, you can see sort of wispier, bushier fur on the towel, but I'm not going to do that at this point. I'll do that once the paint is dry. And I'll do that with the tip of the pencil. And then I'm using a light grey on the white areas of the fur to show some shadow in as well. And then once I've done that, I can add the water, and then I'm going to share some more facts about this fascinating dog. So, oh, some comments. I'm sure they look lovely compared to the blank page feet you had. Exactly that, that's what we say. Everything looks better than the white piece of paper that you started with. Bean says, I love my face. Is it your face or the doll's face? I'm sure you love both of them. You should do. Right. water so that I give my page enough time to dry to be able to get the other details in. And again, even with the paintbrush, I'm moving it in the direction of the fur growth, and I'm still continually looking at my page, as in my reference image, to make sure that I move the paint around in the right way. And I keep the realism going as much as possible. Michael's got full concentration mode. How's everyone else getting on so far? Oh, Bean's just confirmed. He meant the doll's face. I can hear Michael's furiously shading. Oh, dip my, oh, so close to dipping my paintbrush into my cup of tea then. It wouldn't be the first time. And he's saying it's looking better than it was. See, just have to stick with it. Keep the faith. Trust the process. It'll all work out in the end. So a couple more facts with you, because I feel like I've been quiet for a little while. And I of course need to fill the space with my talking. So where do they live? They're found in southern Asia, from Siberia in the north to the Malay Peninsula in the south. They occupy a wide variety of climates and habitats, including forests, scrub and alpine regions. They can vary in colour from charcoal grey to rust red to sandy beige, depending on their habitat. Now presumably that would mean that they can blend in with their habitat, so where they live and where they roam might determine what sort of coat colour they have. Their tail is bushy and fox-like, often with a black tip, not always. They usually have a white belly, chest and feet, but again, not always. Our one that we're drawing today does. Adult dolls have a long tail and rounded ears, and the males tend to be larger and heavier than the females. Dholes are also very good at adapting to their surroundings. Like most dog species, they maintain a very large territory, up to 34 square miles. That's quite a lot of space. They are incredibly athletic. They are fast runners, excellent swimmers, and impressive jumpers. These skills are critical when the pack is hunting. In some protected areas, they share habitat with tigers and leopards. We'd already said that. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I might be rereading things. They're great communicators and use an eerie whistle to communicate with each other, which is maybe why they're often called a whistle dog as well, the whistling dog. They also use a variety of other noises, including clucks and high-pitched screams that are not found anywhere else in the canid families. One of the reasons dholes keep such a large home range is the need to find enough prey to eat. Dhole packs often hunt as a group with one lead dog in charge. The dholes use these sounds when hunting together. Such communication helps them take down prey many times their own body weight. They then swallow the meat in large chunks and actually carry it back to pack members that way. Like other dogs, dholes use their keen sense of smell to track their prey. They have even been seen chasing their prey into water to help slow it down. They prey on hoofed animals. So in India, they eat deer, wild pigs, buffalo, and wild goats. And in Southeast Asia, they feed on deer, gaur, banteng, and in Siberia, they eat deer, wild sheep, and reindeer. They also eat berries, bugs, lizards, and rabbits, and can hunt well on their own if needed. They, like other dogs, are social and live in a group called a pack. Just like the dogs that we already know, they happily wag their tails at one another in greeting. The pack works together to feed and care for itself. Each pack has 5 to 12 members, but its members also work or play with dholes from outside of their own pack. Sometimes packs get together to form super packs of up to 30 or more dholes. They hunt together, share their prey, and then separate again into the original smaller groups. Inter-pack aggression is rare, perhaps because neighbouring packs tend to be related to one another. They live in burrows with multiple entrances. They are similar to painted dogs, that's another species. There is one dominant monogamous pair, so that you have, like, if you like, a mum and dad of the group, and the entire pack contributes to the care and feeding of their puppies. That is called cooperative breeding. And the other pack members bring food to the mother and the pups by regurgitating it from their stomach after a hunt. And once the pups are old enough to join the main pack, they're allowed first dibs on all the kills. When the pups reach about 3 years old, the females head off to live with other packs. This results in an unusual mix in dhole packs. Sometimes there's only one female in a pack full of males, which is quite unusual to see in nature. The highly social and cooperative dhole suffers greatly from habitat loss and fragmentation. Disease and human conflict threaten dholes, which are now listed as an endangered species. The supply of prey is running out in several places, and they can easily catch diseases like distemper and rabies from domestic dogs bought by humans moving into their habitat. In some places, dholes are trapped and poisoned and their dens destroyed because they're viewed as dangerous pests. The primary threat for dholes, though, is habitat loss. So as dholes lose places to live and to reproduce, so do their prey. If there is nowhere safe to live and nothing to eat, then the dhole will slowly die out. It was estimated in 2008 that there were less than 2,500 left in the wilderness. So unfortunately, yes, this is another endangered species because of, guess who? Humans again. Some comments on here. So I can't really draw anything good except a big cat from Farron. Keep practicing. That is I feel like I can't draw anything other than, I don't draw things well other than mammals. I struggle with sea life, I struggle with birds, and I struggle with insects. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep trying to get better at those things. And you can only do that by practicing. And I can only draw a head, not a body. Well, you say this, but you probably can draw the body. You just don't feel it goes as well as the head, because that's what I feel as well. I feel like if I focus on the head, then I get a much better illustration in the end. But as you can see today, I'm going to keep trying because I'm only going to get better by practicing and developing those skills. So we just keep going with it. So next term, is anyone keen to see or hear what we're drawing next term? Anyone want to guess? Not you, Michael, because you might already know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyone want to guess what sort of group of animals are we going to be looking at next term? Pardon me. And anyone got any requests even? Not that I can accommodate them because I've planned out the whole year already.
All done.
birds. Is it Farron? Has guessed birds. Any other guesses before I do the reveal? You finished, Michael?
Mhm.
Blimey, that was quick.
Half an hour.
You can start filling in your fact sheet though. Again, a reminder in case you guys had forgotten, we made little fact sheets that you can fill in based on the information that I've just shared. So on the discussion tab of the event, you will find 2 different sheets. One that you can just fill in questions and answer type thing, and the other one is more for you to write freehand about the animal. So Michael, much to his disgust, has been told he's got to do this, but he much prefers not to be writing. Mammals with hooves, goats and horses, etc. That would have been a good one. Okay. Get some of these details now on the nose. Apes and monkeys, Bud says. Wildlife. Tell me, somebody else says. I will put you out of your misery. We had our first guess was nearly bang on. It is birds, but not just any birds. Exotic birds we are going to be studying next term. So off the top of my head, we have got flamingo, bird of paradise, macaw. What else have we got?
Lovebird.
We've got a
Something like
blue-crested or blue-hooded lovebird.
Parakeet.
Lorikeet.
Lorikeet.
Lorikeet, yeah. So 5 exotic birds that we will be studying next term. I don't know which one I'm doing first yet. I haven't got that far. But that's what we're going to be studying, which, like I was just saying, birds are outside of my comfort zone. So you know, if you like to watch people suffering, come along to the draw-alongs because you will watch me suffering.
Yay.
Aaron says, ooh, nice. Yeah, it's going to be a very colourful one. So a lot of our colours with the dogs and wolves and wild dogs have been quite similar, haven't they? I do find that I'm pulling out the similar sort of colours each week. The bird one, there's going to be quite a variety, lots of bright colours. So that will be nice. It's definitely going to be a focus on feathers and feather and colour next term for sure. Oh, so this is going to be a popular theme then, because I love drawing birds, and Bud said birds are the creatures I find easiest to draw. Yeah, I can't say I do. I feel like the amount of accuracy needed with the feathers and symmetry is what frustrates me a little bit with drawing birds. But that, again, it's good to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone and challenge ourselves a little bit more. So I'm biting the bullet, and we are drawing birds for a whole term. What could possibly go wrong? Michael, have you got the worksheet?
No, I don't know where it is.
Oh, that's convenient. Lost them, have we? But if I try to do colour, it will honestly look like a small child drew it from Farron. No, I'm sure not. I'm sure it wouldn't. Are you sticking with grayscale in that case? I get it. Again, I used to do that. I didn't like drawing in colour. Just a lot more to think about, isn't there? I'm going in with black pencil to sort of add in some darker tones now. Is that my belly or yours that's rumbling?
Yours.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Been very noisy. So I don't know if the microphone's picking that up, but my stomach's protesting about something at the moment. Emily said she likes drawing dogs and has been drawing horses. Horses are another tricky one to do, especially if you're drawing the whole body. So now I'm going, like I say, going in with the black pencil to add in some yet darker tones to some areas to build up the structure of the body and make it look even more realistic. And then finally, what I'll do is then go in once all the water's dry and add in some more fur lines. In fact, you can see that I'm doing that now, sort of with the black pencil, just creating more texture, making him look fluffier. How's everyone doing? Beans put, horses are my favourite thing ever, so I find drawing them quite easy, but I agree the body is quite tricky. You just have to be really accurate because you can see all the muscles and the bone structure and everything. Again, I think that's why I like drawing fluffy animals. It's a bit more forgiving. You can sort of hide mistakes easier in their fur. You don't have to be so accurate. It's another reason I don't like drawing things like buildings and stuff. It has to be, you know, if you're slightly off with your accuracy, it's really obvious because you're expecting it to look a certain way. Can I please see Michael's drawing, please?
Yes.
Michael restarted. And you've put your doll in a setting, haven't you?
So that's a log there.
Yeah, I see the log.
That's a rock.
Yeah, stand on the rock. Big bushy towel.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done, Michael. Where's the rubber gone? Is there anything left of the rubber at this point?
That's it.
It's a scrap. I always forget to do this as I go along. But if I can rub out some of those pencil lines, it does make for a better illustration overall. Back in with the black pencil. I'm quite pleased with how this one's turning out actually. I wasn't sure because it's the full body. But I feel like my skills have developed over the term, so hopefully everybody else feels that theirs have too. It's been of benefit. We've got an I love it, so I'm glad. That's what we like to hear. I'll go in with that reddish tone as well for the more fur. So everything's about layering up. I'm going over the same parts of the picture over and over again with different colours to get the effect that I want. It's not just one and done. The face feels flat to me, so that's why I'm building up more variation in the tone on the face to sort of try and make it a little bit more 3D and pop out the page a little bit more. Regina, I have to go now. Thank you so much. You are more than welcome. And don't forget to upload your picture if you'd like some feedback from Joe in a bit, between 1 and 3. The sooner you can get it on from 1 o'clock, the more helpful it is to Joe. But hopefully we'll see you on our draw. I can't believe this is the last one of the year. But hopefully we'll see you again in the new year. Sit for January, we restart. And in the meantime, if anyone's listening, and I know I've said this before, if you feel like you need your fix of draw-alongs, if you go onto our YouTube channel, you'll find the vast majority of them from over the last 2 years are all sitting on there for you. And don't forget as well, Joe's got her craft alongs going on. Got another couple left. We've got a baking one this week. If anyone wants to join in, we're going to try and be there. We had a go at the, in fact I've got one to hand. Elliot was working with me this week. We did the cutlery holders. So Elliot did this one. And the idea is that the knife and fork go in here. And he did a little bit of embroidery. Elliot's my other child, the 6-year-old. So yeah, feel free to join us with those as well. Another relaxed sort of thing where you just take the instructions and do with it what you want. No right or wrong way of doing things. So here's where a really sharp pencil would work well when you're trying to do long, bushier fur. You get the sharper ends to it. Mine's a little bit blunt. It would definitely be better if it was sharper. But you get the idea. My doll looks like a Pomeranian. Well, when you look at the little mane bit, I can see why it could, to be fair. They do have that sort of bushiness about them. I think I might be done soon, a bit earlier than normal. But you get to that point where you risk overdoing it just because you don't feel like you've spent enough time on it, but actually if it looks okay, sometimes you've got to learn to put the pencil down. It is a problem I have. And I risk overdoing it and then wishing I'd stopped earlier. I think that's okay. I think I'm going to stop there before I do some damage. Not perfect, never is, but the process was enjoyable, and that's the main thing. So don't forget to sign. Last one of 2024 for me. I'll have to practice because by the time January comes along, I will have forgotten how to draw. So I'll have to keep drawing during the next month or so. But yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. That's the Dhole, the Asiatic wild dog, otherwise known as, or the whistling dog. I would recommend looking it up. The sounds of a Dhole. It's quite interesting to see the different noises they make and the way they communicate with each other. It is very different to the other dogs that we've studied this term. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining us and for making our Mondays probably the nicest day of the week, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Bean says, I can't believe it's come to the end of the year. I know, right? Like, it makes me sad. Yeah. Don't forget to upload yours for feedback from Joe. We will be back in the new year from the 6th of January where we're studying exotic birds. But keep an eye on our page because we might have other things crop up. I might miss you guys too much. I might have to just throw in another draw along. So if you're not following our main page, make sure you do that so that you receive any notifications in case I do decide to do something a bit spontaneous. Yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that. Bye guys. I guess I'll see you in the new year. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Bean and Butterfoot, thank you so much, Pick Michael. We'll see you in the new year, definitely. Yeah, don't forget about us. There's going to be a big gap between now and the new year. Don't forget that we exist. And come the new year, no one's joining us for the draw along. Happy New Year really early. It's crazy, isn't it? We're not even December yet. And we're saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. But I'm sure we'll see you in the new year. We'll be all relaxed and refreshed. And I'll have to remind myself how to draw again. And you can all laugh at me when I get it all wrong. Anyway, I said we won't forget you. Good, that's good to know. But thanks for joining us and making this the most enjoyable part of our week. See you all soon, guys. Bye.